We're now live.
Yay! Good job.
Good job hitting the button.
Mm-hmm.
It is 8 o'clock. Hi, people who are watching this on the rewind. I'm Katie, Annie
Back
Jocelyn's
for
sister.
her third turn
My third
on
turn.
our weekly live streams.
Oh, hello. I must not talk in class.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
How does it feel, Katie, being back for a third appearance?
It's an honor, really. Hi, Art Chapin Join. I hope I didn't butcher that. It's really high up today, so I'm doing my best to read things. Hi.
Yeah, the camera is high up because the chalkboard is so tall. I'm pulling out colors that I think I might need. And I might pull out too many, but that's okay. I haven't 100% decided which ones we're gonna use.
Hi, Emily Patton 2. Hello.
Thank you for saying hello while I'm distracted by colors. Hello! Welcome. It is another wonderful Thursday evening. We're back with my sister Katie.
Hi.
For her third turn on our weekly live streams. She just said she was thrilled to bits and weeping openly to be back here with us.
It's a really good thing you can't see. Hi, Emily Patton. She said hi.
Hi.
Emily Patton 2. Yeah,
How
it's a good thing you
openly
can't
she's
see
weeping.
the tears streaming down my face as
Yeah.
we speak. But it is, I'm having a lot of fun with you guys. You're a fun group, and it's fun to watch my sister paint and not paint myself.
Thank you. It's always
most funnest
wonderful to have you. It's especially cool to have you here because today we're going to be painting first, before I talk about the actual illustration that we're going to be making, let me talk about the fact that this is a very different technique that we have going on here. You may notice I have a giant chalkboard sitting on my desk. So you may have seen in my stories, and I think I posted one chalkboard on my feed the other day. Recently, I've been learning a lot about chalkboard painting from I Must Not Talk in Class, who's done a ton of chalkboard stuff, so you can see that on her feed, and also from the Happy Ever Crafter at Happy Ever Crafter or Happily Ever Crafter, Becca. She's very knowledgeable about chalkboard painting. And so I've been experimenting a lot with chalkboard paintings recently. And then kind of serendipitously last week, I happened to win a giveaway by Chalkola.
We just had 3 people come in. Hi, Brie Grimillin and Amir Story and the Unamused Puma. Hi, everyone.
Nice. I always wonder if it's like a Mir story or a Mare story because it's short for Meredith, but Mir makes more sense in that context. I won a giveaway from Chalkola, who makes chalk markers, and so I've been learning how to work with chalk markers, but also how to kind of combine them with some brush techniques. So as we go, we're going to be talking about chalkboard painting. I'll show you one chalkboard, or part of a chalkboard. I can't show you the whole thing because it's for my cousin's wedding in a couple of weeks, so I don't want to put the whole thing out there. But we did a little succulent and rose painting on a chalkboard yesterday, and I just had an absolute blast doing it. And so I thought we could do another chalkboard together on a live stream. I should say, this is kind of different from other tutorials that I've done in the past, where I'm definitely still figuring this out, and this is a very new medium for me. So this is not me saying, like, I'm going to teach you how to do this. This is just me showing you what I'm doing and talking about kind of choices that I'm making as I go, and I'm definitely still learning as well. But it's just been a blast branching out into a new medium, and I've learned a lot, so I'm glad to have you along.
Emily Patton 2 says she's doing the chalkboards for her sister's wedding next week.
Hey,
congratulations
that's
to your
amazing.
sister.
Congratulations to your sister. Yeah, they're really great for weddings and events and celebrations. And yeah, I'm just excited to do some illustration stuff on there as well. So
also, hello to Ellie Sis Anderson and Christina Peck.
Hello.
Hi. Hopefully I didn't get your names wrong.
So the illustration that we're doing today is a strawberry plant. It could be a pattern. It's just some fun botanical stuff, which is great because Katie, you're actually really knowledgeable about botany.
Well, I should say, I was just telling my sister before we started that I was out in my garden the other day and I brushed up against this 3-leaf plant. And of course, if it's a 3-leaf plant, my first thought was poison ivy.
There's 3 letters.
And I'd already touched it, so I thought I might as well pull it up. And then I got in the house and I kind of looked up the leaf shape and I realized it wasn't poison ivy, it was a strawberry plant, a wild strawberry plant, because they're native here.
You ripped out of the ground.
And I ripped it out of the ground, so there went my chance to have some nice
wild strawberries.
So, oh well, that's okay.
I just saw, who was it that just asked? I just popped up there. Who asked what's my favorite medium?
Brie Gramillion, or Bray Gramillion. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Brie because I'm thinking Brie Larson. Bria, I think I have to go with my favorite medium being watercolor. I mean, that's no secret if you look at my feed that it's watercolor, but it's been fun branching out into other things as well. So this sketch I did with a General's pastel chalk pencil. So it's just basically chalk in pencil form, and I went and sketched out these leaves and flowers. And we're gonna fill in with Chocola chalk markers. So what I have up here is a plastic lid, and Becca, the Happy Ever Crafter, talks about this being a great place to prime your chalk markers. So what I mean by prime is to use a chalk marker, you first have to shake it a little bit and then press up and down onto a plastic surface. Like this is really great. If you have a plastic plate, that's also great as well. Just press it up and down a few times to get paint onto the lid, and I'm going to be using this kind of as my mixing tray on my palette today. So you can absolutely draw with these, but today I'm going to be just dumping paint onto this thing and using brushes to pick it up.
Brie said, I love Brie Larson and watercolor. And we had Claire Debonair join. Hello, Claire.
Good, I'm glad. So I'm just popping down a few greens onto my plastic palette. I'm going to be using a lot of green, so I'm not shy about how much I'm putting down. You can see you can also just write with these as they are. And I have a few brushes that are kind of just lying around. Let's see, what are they? They're Cheap Joe's Starving Artist brushes. Cheap Joe's Art Stuff is a great art supply store. And we had these kind of lying around. Neither I Must Not Talk in Class nor I were really using them. And so I didn't really know how the chalk markers would behave with brushes, and so these were kind of the canaries in the mine. But they've turned out really well so far, so I'm just getting a good amount of paint on my brush, and I'm going to start with these dark leaves in the background first. So probably the big difference between painting with watercolor, and these are actually oil-based paints that are in the chalk markers. And so with oil-based or acrylic paint, any opaque paint media, you usually want to work from the dark colors to the lightest colors, which is exactly the opposite of watercolor, because if watercolor is translucent, you can't layer light colors on top of dark colors. It just doesn't work. So this has been a real challenge for me in the past few days as I've been really learning how to paint with chalk paints, is that I've just never worked dark to light. And so I kind of have to flip my order of operations a little bit when I'm laying down color.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
From me, I haven't looked at the screen. I see you're just blending on the palette. Is there a way, like watercolor, to blend on your chalkboard?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they blend on the palette a little bit better from what I've seen so far, but you can definitely add in some color straight on the board as well. And the same thing that happens with watercolor, where if your paint isn't completely dry, that's where you end up with smudging and blending. That's definitely present in chalk paint as well, which can lead to some mistakes, but has also led to kind of some happy accidents.
This wasn't my second question, but how quickly does it dry?
It depends on how much you're putting on, but it usually just takes a few minutes for a layer to dry.
Okay, real second question.
Yeah.
I see you've drawn the veination, the little lines on the leaves.
Yes, and then I'm painting over it.
Yeah, does it really do anything, or can you just draw the shape?
It just reminds me to put veination on it later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So even though I'm painting over it, I'll come back with a fine brush and paint it on again once the base layer is dry.
Hi, Anna Gomez Design.
Hello! Katie, it's so fun having you in here on these. It becomes like, I mean, it's always been a party atmosphere with the live streams, but having another person physically here just enhances that.
It's fun being here. It's like Jolly Holiday with your chalk painting.
Thank you. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I definitely can take some inspo from Bert in the chalk painting universe.
Yeah, he's really the original chalk painter, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
The magic part is really the part that's probably the hardest to learn.
Yeah. I wonder if he's got a Skillshare class or something.
That and how to sweep chimneys and dance like a fiend. So I noticed the water isn't really picking up the chalk underneath.
What's that?
The water isn't picking up the chalk pencil.
By chalk lines, no. It just kind of nicely covers it up, which I've been really pleased by.
So this paint, you've been talking about erasing it the last couple days in person. It doesn't just erase like chalk though, does it?
Yeah, so the way you erase these chalk markers, and I don't know if this is true of every chalk marker, but for the Chalkola chalk markers and some of the other chalk markers I've been trying, they just come off with water or Windex if you're so inclined, but water works just fine as well. So it's nice because it will stay put when you need it to, and then when you're ready to be done with it, you can just wipe it down like with a wet paper towel and start over.
Bree wants to know, how did you get your Insta art account out there?
Oh, I still don't feel like I'm super out there. I think being consistent is one way to, like, don't worry as much about the numbers as you should be concerned with putting good content out there in a way that's consistent. Not that you have to post every single day, but to be posting things regularly that you feel good about. And then a lot of it is, I think there's this idea that to get like discovered, quote unquote, on Instagram, that happens organically or just by accident, and that has not been my experience. A lot of my experiences, like I think a good chunk of people who have found me on Instagram have found me through like brand takeovers and brand collaborations have really helped me reach out to people who are interested in similar things. And those did not happen by accident. A lot of times I just either reach out to people that I already know or just kind of cold email people and say, hey, here's what I'm doing and I think I'd be a good fit for your audience as well. So a lot of it is just kind of putting yourself out there in spaces where people who are interested in similar things are likely to find you. And for me, that was by reaching out to brands like Spoonflower, and Tombow was very nice. I kind of got in touch with Tombow through another artist friend, making connections there. So I don't know if that's a good answer, but just make good stuff that you're proud of, and then don't be afraid to talk it up to other people, to say, I like what I'm doing and I think other people will too.
I found you through Spoonflower. Sorry, I misread that first. I found you through Spoonflower, says Claire Debonair.
Hey, that's great. I love Spoonflower. They have, really invested so much time and effort in me as an artist, and I have just loved having a working relationship with them. And I love them as a brand.
Moxie Misfit Blues joined. Hello, Moxie.
Hello.
And Bree says that is so helpful. Thank you.
I'm glad.
I think it's really amazing how I think being in the arts, because I do some art stuff too. It's you really expect rejection and people to hate you as your default. At least I do.
Yeah,
and it's really
you're kind of, you build that thick skin. Sorry, go ahead.
And well, it's really nice to see how many brands and how many people are just so friendly, and they want you to be a good fit for them, and they want content that's going to be good. So the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say, yeah, thanks, not interested.
Right.
But most of the time they're really happy to do collaborations.
Yeah, I think, I've been really pleasantly surprised by the people that I've reached out to have been more than willing to, not 100% of the time, but I've been surprised with how often people will say, yeah, let's make something happen because they like what you're doing.
And it could be, too, when they reject you, it's not necessarily you. It could be it's just not a good time for them. Or you're not a good fit for their particular brand at this moment or whatever.
And that's another thing I really appreciated about Spoonflower, just kind of as a transparency moment. When I first started approaching Spoonflower about doing projects and stuff, they were really upfront about you need to have more patterns in your shop. And they were really, they met me halfway in terms of making that happen. They gave me a lot of advice and resources to make that happen. Yeah. Just mixing some more green.
I'm excited to eat more strawberries in the summer.
Me too. It's strawberry season now.
Strawberries and vanilla ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Strawberries and like cake. Maybe I just really want dessert right now.
That sounds good. If I rotate this way just a little bit, is it still visible what I'm doing?
Yeah, if you have it like that.
Okay, great.
Bree says thank you.
I just don't want to put my hand in wet paint. You're welcome, Bree.
Yeah, I have the problem of being left-handed and very clumsy, so
You're not clumsy. You are left-handed, though.
Getting my hand in wet paint a lot.
A little more. Do you mind if I talk about you and the arts a little bit more? Because I think.
Yeah, as long as you don't get too specific.
No. Just your general job titles in life are a lot of different things. Katie is a painter, a comic artist. She's done some comics. She's a playwright now, a director, and an educator in a lot of different areas. So when you talk about experience in the arts, that's a really valuable thing as well.
Hi, I'm Angelica Tobar.
Hey, welcome back.
Mostly what I do is education and writing, but I'm trying to learn the art, the drawing kind of art too.
Well, I really appreciate that you just also pick up different kinds of art related things for no other reason than just learning them and doing them well. Like playing the mandolin, which is something you also do.
You're so sweet. I'm blushing here.
Also because it's really hot in here.
It is so
hot. Are you
hot.
feeling
I'm
that?
gonna open the door.
Maybe it's the lights.
Hopefully the cat won't come bounding in, jump on top of the chalkboard.
Just gonna rotate this around. If the cat does come in, we'll ask her valuable experience as well.
She has lots of valuable experiences. She makes art every day. Her whole life is art.
I'm still learning how much paint is appropriate to mix, and I'm feeling like I have to stop and mix every few seconds.
The color names on this, I was reading them before we got started. They're really interesting. I think the one you're doing right now is lake green or beetlebug green. I don't know which.
I know. I wish they had that's the one thing that I found that's kind of a downside of the Chalkola markers that would be a note, is that they don't have the color names on the markers themselves. So I am using this dark green and this medium dark green. Right on cue, here's the cat. She's silent, but she is here.
What other brands of chalk pens have you tried that you liked?
I have tried VersaChalk, and I think this is a VersaChalk chalkboard, actually. And I've also tried Bistro chalk markers, which you can find, I think we got them at Walmart.
Other markers.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. This is a VersaChalk marker, and this is a Bistro chalk marker.
And so far, I really like them all. I don't know that I'm really knowledgeable enough about chalk painting to articulate the differences between them so far, except that Chalkola, I had the great fortune of winning a set of 30 of them, so there are definitely a lot more color options just because I have more of them. But yeah, as I continue learning more, maybe I'll be able to tell you what the differences are, but so far I like all of them just fine.
Hi, NC366.
Hey!
Are you at an art studio? No.
No. Well, I guess in that it is my studio. This is a desk in my house, in my room. So no, this is not a very fancy setup at all. I usually, if I'm photographing it for, Instagram or photographing it for the internet, I try to, tidy up a little bit and make it look official and just shoot like this corner of the room, but this is just like a desk in my house.
I think if you go back through different, like her Spoonflower feature, you can see different little knickknacks here. Like, where'd your marketing team go?
They're behind the white balance thing,
So, yeah,
but I do have
The marketing team.
some very fancy, the people I jokingly refer to as my marketing team, my sum. I've
people?
got, the people. I've got Stitch, I've got Dumbo, and I've got Baymax. So it's a very, stylish and very put together studio.
Hi, Claire
as you can
Hamilton
see.
Art. Same, says Bree with a thumbs up.
Same on the Sim, or same on just your workspace being in your house? I'm really, blessed and fortunate to work from home. I wouldn't say no to a studio space one day, but I'm really happy to have a workspace in my home. I guess I should talk about, and I say this with hesitation because I really just kind of learned about this afternoon, but porous and non-porous surfaces when you're chalk painting. So right now I'm painting on a non-porous surface. This chalkboard is made out of stainless steel with chalk paint going over it. And please, I must not talk in class, I know you're listening to this, please correct me if I go wrong on anything. So this is a non-porous surface, and when you're painting with chalk paint, you always want to paint on non-porous surfaces. Because, for instance, wood is a porous surface, it's absorbent. If you do paint on a porous surface, what you end up with is ghosting, which means that even if you get rid of the chalk paint by like wiping it off with water, some of it will have absorbed into your surface and will be there permanently.
I thought it meant when your boyfriend didn't text you back.
Yeah, that too. So when you're painting with chalk paint, you always want to paint on surfaces like plastic, like metal. So that slate is a porous surface, so you don't want to paint on that. So it's important to kind of do your homework before you start painting on a surface, especially if you want to erase it. If you can also use chalk markers on paper if you don't intend to erase it. You just kind of have to think about how you're wanting to use it.
Hi, Lindsay Fink Art. Bree said workspace. Same with workspace.
Ah, yes.
It seems like it's drying a little darker than the paint.
It does. I might have to blend it in a little bit. Maybe it's my color mixing that I came in just a little bit lighter than the other
But that's
one.
interesting because it's the opposite of watercolor.
Right. Let's see if we can... Every time I just end up with a slightly different shade of green.
That's okay. That's how nature is, kind of.
Good.
Nature is, different.
You can tell me that even if
Very
it's
neat.
not true.
It's true. It's 100% true.
Okay.
I'm saying. I don't really know. Not everything's going to be the same hex code of green in nature.
Yeah, I'm definitely not super confident in my color mixing just yet with chalk paint. We'll get there.
So what are different things you could use chalkboards for?
Well, I mean, we've been doing a lot of chalkboard painting right now for events because we've got a wedding coming up. For businesses, I've seen a lot of small businesses online using chalkboards, and it's a really great way to kind of, if you have like a brick and mortar, to invite in some foot traffic to have some really fun artwork like out on the sidewalk or in the window. I'm trying to think what else would be a good use
Glass
for.
is non-porous.
Yes, glass is non-porous. Another great surface to paint on.
I think it's cool the way you have, I mean, surface design on this is cool. And you could always take a part of it and make an element on something else.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, and I'm still kind of learning how to photograph chalkboards really well, but I'm interested to see if I can like get a really nice photograph of it and try digitizing some stuff for surface design and product design and see how that looks. And afterwards, some of my chalk lines are still visible, as you can see. If you go in with just a dry Q-tip afterwards, you can rub those out really nicely. It erases the chalk pencil without erasing your chalk paint.
I'm assuming the wet one won't mess with the paint.
Yes. I would assume. I've never tried it for fear of messing up my paint. Gonna blend this in a little bit. This is fun as well because I get to use kind of like dry brush techniques and get the texture of the brush in there a little bit more, which you don't really have in watercolor because your brush is always wet. So this is definitely like some brush skill building for me as well. All right, so those are all of our big green leaves painted in. I'm wondering if I can come back down here now if it's dry enough. Again, I stick my finger in it, which is not maybe the best thing to do. But I think it is dry enough to paint in the berries starting down here. So let me get my brush cleaned off here. Is that still pretty visible? The board, is it placed well? Good, good,
yeah. Shout out if you can't see what's going on.
Yes, feel free to say, can you move it this way or that? So on the berries, I think I'm just going to start with a plain dark red. I'm not going to mix it. Just get a bunch of it on the palette. The nice thing about these Chalkola markers is that they just, when you prime them, they spit out a ton of paint, which is really, really nice. All right. So I'm going to start with a fine brush because I want to come in around these leaves. Trying to angle this nicely. Does that work?
Mostly, yeah, I think so.
Mostly, okay.
Again, tell us if it doesn't work for you guys. Clearly, I can see everything from where I am.
Just taking a fine brush so that I can come in around these leaves and get right in those nooks and crannies there. This is interesting. This has a slightly streakier texture than the green does.
It does.
I wonder if this is because of the brush I'm using or just the consistency of the paint. But I think I'm just making it worse by fiddling with it, so I'm going to leave it alone.
You can always come back and give it another coat, right?
Yeah.
Another thing these plants remind me of is the movie... Oh, it just completely went out of my head.
What is it? Like, describe it to me.
It has Jessica Brown Findlay in it.
This Beautiful Fantastic.
This Beautiful Fantastic, yes. And strawberry plants are an important part of that movie, and it's just a lovely movie about gardening.
Yeah, I think it's on Hulu.
Maybe, yeah. I think so. She does not rip her strawberry plants out of the ground in that one.
I think she purposely avoids doing that in the movie.
Yeah, maybe that would have been a good thing for me to have done, but nope.
If you could give like a 2-minute synopsis of This Beautiful Fantastic, how would you
It is about a girl who's very shut off from the world, has a lot of idiosyncrasies, who, because she's afraid of going outside and afraid of nature, lets her garden overgrow and she almost gets evicted. I don't think that's a spoiler. So she has to fix her garden.
And kind of overcome her own
fear
in the process.
Yeah. And it's a really weird little movie, and it's fun.
It's beautiful, though. Fantastic.
Yeah, even. Red pigment is streaky a lot of the time, even in stuff like makeup, so maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Says Unamused Puma. Yeah, I've actually noticed that with red lipstick, that it doesn't really sit the way I want it to ever. But also, I'm super pale, so it never really looks right on my face anyway.
I've definitely found that as well. All right, let's flip this guy around.
Because I guess the chemistry of whatever it is that makes the paint is different than...
Then whatever makes the green?
Yeah. That's Chem 101. With Katie.
That's great.
Science today.
Yeah, this is definitely not as opaque as the other colors that I've used so far. Or as opaque as I'd like it to be.
This color is either candy corn orange or pink lemonade.
There are more colors on the other side.
Oh, I was thinking it's really red, obviously.
Yeah.
It's red.
It's
That's
called
the name
red.
of this color, yeah. That makes more sense. Do you have all of these
Oh,
colors
that
in
is
this?
not the marker I meant to pick up.
That would be a lovely blend of colors.
No, it would be brown.
Brown. Science sparkles, says Unamused Puma, and 3 says smiley face.
Go.
So if you could have an unlimited supply of any crop, what would you pick?
Of any crop?
Yeah. Any fruit or veg.
Oh. I think I'd love, and I have looked at like people's houses. I'd love to have a lemon tree. That would be, like, I would use those lemons
All the
every
time.
single day. Yeah. How about
Lemon
you?
Pasta. Lemons would be good. I was gonna say basil, but we practically already do have a
Right.
supply of basil.
We
which
have a
goes
basil
like
plant
crazy.
that's just wild.
Yeah. What else do we use all the time?
Herbs like rosemary
Herbs,
and thyme.
An unlimited supply of thyme is what I want.
Eh.
Yeah. I guess a really practical answer would be corn.
I was trying to think like
You'd
wheat.
have to spend a long time prepping it. Ditto potatoes. Hi, Madeline.
Hey, Madeline. I think I have one last strawberry. I might be able to fill it in with what I have. Trying not to mix the green into my red. That would be a disaster.
It's just really underripe strawberry.
Yeah. Or overripe.
Overripe, I guess, if it's brown. Or the birds have already taken a bite out of it. That's usually what happens.
Let
in
me
my
try to
bird
get
babies.
a little more red onto this. There we go. As I said, this is just me kind of experimenting with this. So we shall see how it will be.
So I guess one of these is red, and one of these must be candy corn orange or pink lemonade. Pink lemonade looks more likely because it's a little bit redder, but I guess it's up to us. I'd love to have a job naming colors.
Yeah. You'd be really good at that.
Thank you. It would be a fun job, but eventually I run out of color names. It's like how I don't know how they keep naming Pokemon.
I think there must be a point where you just kind of have to randomize it.
Yeah.
Ooh, flip it back around. There's going to be a lot of rotating here. Oh, I missed a berry. You see that?
No.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, it's a baby berry.
Let's get that guy. This is also a lot of fun because it's a lot messier than watercolors. Yesterday, when I finished the big chalkboard that I showed you earlier, I stood up and my hands and I had it in the floor because it's really big, and I stood up and my hands and my legs were all covered in paint, and I thought, this is just so fun. I had the best time just getting messy and covered in paint, which when you're doing watercolor is just not something that happens a whole lot. So it's really enjoyable, actually, to just kind of get your hands dirty. Okay, I think next I want to let those dry really, really well. So I think I'm going to come in and do these white strawberry blossoms, because those are really kind of isolated from everything else. I don't have the danger of running into another shape when I'm doing that.
Fun fact, if you see a strawberry plant with a yellow flower, then it is a false strawberry, and you can still eat it when it fruits. It will just taste bad.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Well, it looks, the fruit looks a lot different. But basically I've read people saying, yeah, they're completely edible, they just taste horrible. It's like eating a little thing of wax.
That doesn't sound very appetizing.
No, and I'm not sure how you would know what eating a little thing of wax tastes like.
I guess just that it doesn't have much of a taste.
Yeah, it doesn't have much of a taste, and so it's really bad. But yeah, yellow flowers means mock strawberry. White flowers means legit strawberry. That's the technical name too.
Legit strawberry.
Legit strawberry.
That's the Latin name.
Yep.
Strawberrius legitus.
Legiticus. Hi, Max N51.
Hey.
It's interesting to actually use white paint, because in watercolor you really...
Yeah, you're just using the white of the paper as your white, so it is really interesting to come in and actually have to paint things white. I haven't tried yet painting a person on chalkboard, but I was thinking today I'd have to paint in the whites of their eyes, which I never have to do.
That's interesting. Yeah, I use my white watercolor for blending, but otherwise... I see a lot of people say they never use it. I also see a lot of people saying they never use black, which I use black.
I do use black, but I never use white.
I also see people saying never turn a piece of artwork. Why is that?
I don't know, because I turn my artwork all the time. I think I've turned this piece of artwork like 500 times in the 20 minutes that we've been working on it, so I don't have a good answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at some instructions for playing a mandolin, and it was saying how you shouldn't do all of these things that I do on the regular.
It's like nothing bad has happened yet, so.
I haven't been struck by lightning for doing this, so I'm going to keep doing it. Hi, Krensman.
Hello. Man, it's 8:40. I said we'd been working on this for 20 minutes.
The phone says it's 8:37.
8:30. I was rounding up.
Well, oh yeah, okay. I was just saying you have 3 extra minutes.
There we go.
Did. So use it wisely.
Time flies here.
Hello. Kransman said hello.
Hello. Get some more white on there. Oh, there goes my lid.
That's how you know you're shaking it really well.
Yeah. Apparently, chalk paint also comes in tubes, which I think would be really useful.
Really useful?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you've seen how many times I've had to prime the pen on them.
It would just also be scary because, I guess if you're used to using paint tubes.
It is a little less contained than the markers, definitely. Or I imagine it would be.
Can chalk paint be used? I'm guessing it can't be used dry like watercolors or gouache can and be activated.
I don't know. I mean, I've been able to reconstitute the paints with water a little bit, but then they kind of end up really watery and streaky on the board. So maybe, you know, somebody who's a little more experienced with chalk painting can has a better way to do that. Is that all the flowers? Am I missing any?
I think that's all the flowers as far
Great.
as I can see.
I kind of want to put one more right here. So I'll just freehand it on real quick.
Gotta go. Bye, Bree. It was
Bye,
nice
Bree.
having
Thank you so much for chatting with us.
When do you know you need to change your paint water?
When the color comes off on my paper towel or on this towel or whatever. So if my brush comes off clean, even if it looks really green like that, my paint water is super green right now. But if it comes off clean on the cloth, then I know I'm okay.
That was a stressful couple seconds of you holding the jar of water.
Over the painting for me as well. I'm gonna lighten up this green that I mixed a little bit to come in and do the leaves and the vines on the strawberries themselves.
That color is, it's not Mediterranean. Let's see what it is.
Like mint? I would call it mint, but...
I don't think mint is an option. It might be beetlebug green.
Okay.
Or teal.
I don't think it's teal because it doesn't really have any blue.
Yeah, let's go with beetlebug green.
Okay.
I like the generality of beetlebug because beetles are the most common bug in the world.
Let's see. Okay,
There's
these
a
are
lot
pretty
of
well done.
beetles. Like 1 out of 4 bugs is a beetle.
That's cool. A little etymology fact as well.
It's not like if you take any random 4 bugs, one of them will be a beetle.
If you pick up 4 earthworms, one of them is secretly a beetle.
I think it's actually 1 out of every 4 beings in the world is a beetle, but that stat could be completely wrong. Anyway, all I remember
You heard
is
it here.
there are a lot of beetles
In the world.
But there are 4 of us in this house, so that means one of us has to be a beetle.
5 if you count the cat.
Oh man, maybe it's her. So I don't know. The beetle stats are not exactly right, but there are a lot of beetles. That's the stat for you. Science 102 with Katie. First, stuff changes when there's different colors, and then there are a lot of beetles in the world.
So the thing I learned looking at pictures of because I've drawn a lot of strawberries kind of in isolation, like picked strawberries, but I wanted to try drawing them kind of attached to a plant, and I learned that they grow on these really long vines, which we used to have a strawberry plant, and I just didn't remember that at all.
I was gonna say, you didn't, we had them all the time, and birds ate them mostly, but we ate some of them too.
We ate the ones that the squirrels didn't get and the birds. But yeah, I kind of like the way that they have, I don't know if this is a weird term to use, but it's kind of like a long umbilical cord that they have. Is that a weird thing?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Now I can never eat a strawberry again.
Make it a little more mint green on my palette here. Big leaf here. Hope you all have had a good week. It's been really nice, really lovely weather. Just kind of a week where a lot of stuff's been getting done in not a very stressful way. I know you have finals coming up, Katie, so that might not be.
Yeah, it's been a little bit stressful. It's not
the
been as bad
same.
as pretty much all my other finals have been before.
That's
so.
good.
1 out of every 4 animals on Earth is a beetle,
There you go.
according to Reddit. So you know it's true. I don't know if that's including humans. I assume it is, though. Let me actually check the source on this. So 1 out of 4, I didn't make that up. at least someone.
Someone else has confirmed.
I didn't make it up. At least someone else thinks it's true, whether or not it actually is.
On this, I kind of like the streakiness of the color. It gives a little bit of texture, a little oil paint texture that I haven't really gotten to use before.
On the mint?
Yeah.
The beetle.
The beetle bug
which
green?
got us started on beetle stats. That's our little beetle.
Kitty.
She's about 18 years old, and she likes to eat biscuits and get her head really wet and shake it all over other people.
We were talking about, we have this thing, if any of you read the Linny comics by Lucy and Isley, she makes comics about her cat Linny, and it is just absolutely Jill as well. Have we mentioned that before? That feels familiar to say.
I don't know, but if you're hearing that again, then
Go check out the Linny comics
Yeah.
because they're hilarious.
they're really funny. All of her comics are funny, but I think those are just the funniest to me.
I think one more round of mixing should get us there.
We're at 8:45, just so you know.
Ah! That's my very calm sound that I'm making there.
I like your very calm sound.
Ah! It's kind of a Muppet sound.
Who's your favorite Muppet? I actually already know this, but who's your favorite Muppet?
Rolf.
Who's your least favorite Muppet? I don't know that.
I've never really considered this question before. And I don't know that I have the heart to say that any of them are my least favorite.
That's very kind of you.
I don't have a really strong dislike for any Muppet.
That's fair. My favorite Muppet is the Swedish Chef because I relate to him deeply.
I think I want to use the same light green to give some venation to the leaves to bring in that venation again. Just very lightly. So I just take a line down the middle and then diagonal lines towards the top of the leaf, which in this case is facing down. All the way down. I don't really try to match it up to anything on the side. Just pretty evenly spaced venation. Is that the right word?
I was using it earlier, so if it's wrong,
So then
that's on
at least
me.
we're wrong together if...
Do you ever do this? The amount of attention you pay to it depend on just what piece you're doing in terms of like whether it's
Yeah.
opposite or alternate.
I'm sorry, say that again. Alternate or what?
Opposite in terms of that.
I'm trying to remember what alternate and opposite venation are.
Just like
What's
whether
the
it
one I'm
lines
doing
up.
right now?
Mostly opposite.
Mostly opposite. It doesn't exactly match up. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little more precise, then I will make it match up, but I guess today is not one of those days.
It looks opposite. Unless you squint at it really hard.
I'm barely pushing on
They
my
look
brush
delicious. Not the
at all.
leaves.
You. Are strawberry leaves edible?
Probably. But don't quote me on that, guys.
Don't go out and eat a strawberry
don't go
leaf
out
just
and eat
because Katie
stuff.
said they're edible.
Yeah. I'm a bad role model. Live on the edge.
She eats things out of the wild and it stresses me out.
Only sometimes. This is gorgeous. I really like the contrast of the light green on the darker green, says Unamused Puma.
Thank you.
Hi, Nina Arujo 9. Hi. I was hitting extra high when I hit the wave button, just to emphasize.
To emphasize that you are saying hi. You've done a great job keeping up with... The phone is sky high in the air right now to get all of this.
Thank you. I'm thinking of getting a booster seat.
Yeah,
this.
for the next one.
I don't know if I can find one that will fit me in it, but we're gonna try.
I know now that I definitely won't have time to finish this in our live stream time, but I do, when I finish the veination on these leaves, I do want to come in and add some more detail to the strawberries, some highlights and some seeds. That paint's not really moving super well. Ah, watering it down helps tremendously.
Looks like it just needed, it was too dry. Maybe?
It was too dry. That's something I've learned just now.
Do you feel like just painting is the best way people can learn?
Yes.
I guess that's a really obvious question.
Yes.
Is there any like secret hack to not do work and still learn?
Nope.
Next
question.
Give me a better answer than that?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of painting or Photoshop or whatever, the way I've learned how to, I mean, I have never been in art school. I haven't taken like a lot of art classes. You just kind of have to learn your way of doing things by doing it.
That's a very sad cat. Not enough attention on her.
I know. Poor thing. She likes to talk a lot. Oh, she's telling you about it.
Do you have anything to say to the audience, Jill?
Hello. Our second special guest.
Yep. A lot more intelligent than our first special guest. There's a
No.
lot more, well, in I guess in cat years I'm older, but I'm not a cat, so. She's being quiet. I think she's very confused.
Hi, baby.
She normally talks all the time.
Okay, now I want to see if I can fix the streakiness. There you are. I want to see if I can fix the streakiness on the strawberries a little bit. Maybe I can come in and add, I've got a bistro here. I wonder if this red will sit better than the chocola red. It's not really pooling out there. Let's just throw a few colors together and see what happens.
Let's see, that pink is, I think, candy pink?
Yeah, it's a little less neon than the other pink, so I think I'm gonna use that.
Pink is, it could be fluorescent pink
And
lemonade.
this is really wanting to come out and play, so.
I think you should just put all the colors together.
Yeah, just a big brown puddle. It's a little more pink than I'd like it to be. I wonder
They do turn out to be pink, that could be cute.
if I could add in, that's true, it could be.
And that other one is orangey.
Let me
on the
mix
right.
in some yellow. Yes, I do have an orange over there.
You have 8 minutes, just so you know.
Okay. See very quickly what happens if I mix in this yellow. Kind of turns into a peach, doesn't it?
It's pretty.
Well, let's use it. Because now I have a lot of it.
And it'll be on top of red, so.
Right.
You're not happy with it?
Ah, oh, this is cool. It's kind of blending in with the red that's on there.
If it turns into pink, just say you meant it to be pink the entire time.
I
That was your
meant to
artistic
do this the
vision.
entire time. I'm just Bob Rossing my way through this. We are just having some happy accidents here. Yeah, I kind of dig how this is blending in.
I would also wear that as a lip gloss, that color.
This peachy color?
Not the actual chalk. Don't do that.
Don't put that on your mouth.
But that color, yeah.
I'm just adding a few little highlights. I'm not going to go over the entire shape.
I wondered about that.
Just to show a little bit where the light's hitting the strawberries.
I just thought you'd do what I do and just got bored of one and went on to the other and your attention got...
I'm just adding a little bit of touch of color just to have a couple different colors happening there. mainly if I'm imagining that the light is coming from the top, then I'm just kind of adding color where I think that light might be hitting those berries. Yeah, it's kind of fun, the color that it's making as it mixes on the on the chalkboard. Yeah, and as it's drying as well. It's really kind of funky.
So as we have 5 minutes left,
Yeah,
one thing we
really
do want to
truly-
talk about is that she just, there's a spoonflower challenge up.
Yeah, so for the first time in a while, it's been a few months since I've entered a Spoonflower Challenge, but I have a few coming up this month. And the first one just opened up for voting today. It is Small Scale Summer is the theme of the challenge. And my pattern looks like this. It's called Watercolor Watermelon Scrapbook. And the link to go vote for the challenge is in my bio, but I would love, if you guys like this pattern, you can click through the link in my bio and go vote for it. And that will be up for sale pretty much as soon as the challenge is over, either way, because I have a proof coming soon. Yeah, I made the artwork about 2 years ago, and I Must Not Talk in Class found it a few days ago and said, you should make a pattern out of this, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So that link is in my bio, you can follow that. Next week, I think we're going to follow our fruit theme and do a whole kind of watercolor fruit themed live stream. So if there are any kind of fruits that you're really interested in wanting to know how to paint, let me know and I'll do some practice and tell you what I found. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'm going to finish this. I will finish this and post a picture of it on my feed very soon. But thank you very much for joining me. Special thanks to Katie for being here.
Thank you guys. You are awesome.
Yeah, and to our cat, who is no longer here. Thank you guys for hanging out and chatting with us and asking questions. And if you painted along, feel free to send me what you've painted. I'm excited to continue learning about chalkboard painting and to continue sharing that with you guys. So thank you very, very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye.